Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome back to another video. Bit of a different one today because today I am going to be showing you the new yarn collection. You can already see some of them back here. It's not a huge surprise. If you follow me on TikTok, you would have already seen some of them anyway. And yeah, so this is a new yarn collection which is called the DM's Library, and it is colourways based on various books from Dungeons and Dragons. So I had the idea for this in the summer last year because I thought it would be really cool, and I thought, well, I definitely need to have yarn colourways based on at least the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook and the Monster Manual. But then I've decided to add in a couple more as well, just to make it a nice round 5 instead of just 3. So there are 5 colourways in this collection. Something that I did to start with is that I went into Canva. I just did this on my phone when I was in bed one evening. I'd get very creative when I'm meant to be asleep, and I opened up a template where there's 9 grids, and I put the image of the book cover in the middle, and then I used a colour picker to pick out various colours from the book cover. And I did this for a lot of different books, not just the 5 that I've chosen, but I just settled on these 5 for now. I didn't want to do too many colourways and then get too overwhelmed by it all. I do kind of wish that I'd done a couple more, but at the same time I wanted to keep it manageable. So I find that a really useful way of determining colourways, because then you can clearly look at the collage, I suppose, and you can see what kind of colours you want to put where, and yeah, the inspiration. I wanted to dye these up when I got back from Sicily in January, but then we had frozen pipes and then palavers occurred. But good news, I've managed to get them all done. I'm pretty sure I've lost a game of cold or damp though for Player's Handbook. So I've twisted up one for the time being, and then I will untwist it once I have finished filming this video. But shall we start with the DM's Guide? So the Dungeon Master's Guide is the book that the person who runs the game of Dungeons and Dragons has. It has all of the rules, it has the pricing of things, it has, I don't know, all sorts of different things. Tips on how to run the game, and it's essentially the main overall rule book that the Dungeon Master or the person that needs to run the game needs to know. On the cover of the book there is a necromantic lich. I'm pretty sure necromancy is where you sort of raise people from the dead, and maybe I've misinterpreted that. Maybe that's not it at all, but heavy on the purples, this colourway. I realise that I've come out with quite dark moody colours in it's coming up to spring, so I hope that you're still on board for the dark moody colours, because I very much am. So this colourway is absolutely beautiful and I'm obsessed with it. So here we have on my Sturdy Sock base and my Sturdy DK base. Sturdy Sock is 75% superwash Blueface Leicester and 25% nylon. Makes for very good socks, very good jumpers. It's a little scratchier than my merino base is, but I personally don't find it itchy, but I also don't know what your skin sensitivity is like. And then my double knit base is 100% superwash Blueface Leicester. It just makes for really hard wearing garments and I love it. I love it. We also have it on my merino sock, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and absolutely stunning. And then sparkle sock. Yes, I love it so much. Those are both 4-ply weight. These are both 400 meters per 100 grams. This is 425 meters per 100 grams. This is 225 meters per 100 grams. Next up we have it on yak sock. I absolutely love this. So yak itself is quite grey, so anything dyed over the top of it already has that level of depth to it, and I just think it's beautiful. Stunning. Stunning. Then we have the fluffy base, which is fluffy lace. It's a mohair and silk blend, and This is 420 meters per 50 grams. Very nice, held together with another base to make a nice fluffy jumper. Then we have the Stripy Merino 4-ply is what I've named it, but I might rename it because some people have mistaken it for being a self-striping yarn, which it is not. And yes, it's just got some black striping through it. The website called it a zebra skein, but I didn't know how I felt about that name. But this is 400 meters per 100 grams, and this is 100% superwash merino, so not suitable for socks, but very nice for jumpers. And then, last but not least, we have a boucle base, which is new. I bought it ages ago, and I've had it sat on the shelf for such a long time, and I've finally dyed it up, and I don't know why I waited so long, because I love this base. I love it. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's 200 meters per 100 grams. 220 meters per 100 grams, sorry, I misspoke. Let me double check. Yes, 220. And it's just so fun. I definitely need to knit myself something out of this one. But yeah, that is the DM's guide. Let's move on. I won't go into as much details in all of the other bases because I've done it once. So next up we have Monster Manual. On the cover of this there is a giant beholder, which is essentially a big, it's kind of like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. but in evil, no legs or arms, and loads of tentacles with eyeballs on the end. It's nothing like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. really, is it? But yeah, it's a giant floating head with a big eyeball, and each of the eyes off its tentacles have different powers. Pretty terrifying if you ask me, but that's on the front of the Monster Manual. In the Monster Manual, as you can imagine, you have all of the various monsters and all of the stats. So that will be what powers they have, what strengths they have, what skills they have, and it will also have how many hit points they have, what they can do in a turn, and all of that fun stuff. It's usually the Dungeon Master who has this book, because they need to know the stats of the monster that they are making their party fight with. So I'm just going to show this off on a few bases because I didn't want this to become the world's longest video. So starting off we have the merino sock. See, we've got some lighter areas and some darker areas. We've still got a bit of natural showing through just to add a bit of contrast in it. And then with the speckling, because you know I love me some speckles. This is it on sturdy sock. I've got a bit of mohair stuck on that one, bit of fluff. I love it, I love it. And then this is it on mohair. And yeah, that's a jumper. Yes, please. Yes, please. This is one of the struggles of being a yarn dyer, is I now want to knit all of the yarn that I own. Or that I dye up even. Right, shall we move along the shelf? Let's go on to Boo's Astral Menagerie. So while this is a book, it's not technically, I don't know, Mario's tried to explain it to me, but I don't fully understand. It's not a book in the classic sense. It's part of the Spelljammer campaign, which is a separate campaign from, say, the DM's Guide and such. And Boo's Astral Menagerie is a load of space stuff, for lack of a better term. Now, I do not own this book because I went to buy it, and you can only buy it as part of a full set, and it's pretty expensive. So I haven't bought it. Yeah, so it's set in space, and there's a big guy riding on the back of what looks to be a space dragon. But like I say, I do not own the book, therefore I cannot say for certain what the monster is. I dyed up a sock set December last year. No, maybe November last year. That was inspired by a set of dice that I found by Dispel Dice, and the colourway that I came up with I called Astral Menagerie because I then found that book cover and thought, oh my goodness, they look so similar. So then I started knitting it up and I was like, I want a bit more colour in this for the collection. So that is what I have done. I have gone to town with blues and navy blues, but also pinks, and then I've done some yellow speckling in there and some purple speckling in there, and I think this is going to be quite a popular colourway, but I could also be wrong because I find it very difficult to judge those kinds of things. Once again, I'm just going to show you this on a few bases. I won't go through what they are again, but this is it on boucle. We've got a few neon-y speckles, a bit of turquoise, a bit of beautifulness up here. Yes, 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 yes. Then on merino sock, similar vibes. Oh, it's just, yes, so good. So good. Look at this skein of DK. Different yarn bases pick up dye differently, and yeah, I'm obsessed with how this one came out. I just think it's absolutely stunning. So that is sturdy DK, and then we've got sturdy sock as well. And then fluffy lace. I mean, I haven't done this very well because the window's up there and you can't really see. How about if I hold it back and zoom in? You can do it that way. Yes, I love this so much. I just think that's going to be absolutely stunning, you know? This colourway is very much in my comfort zone. It's something that I felt very comfortable dyeing, and I love how it's come out. I just think it looks fabulous, and yeah, I'm really, really excited about this one. So I keep talking about colourways that are very much in my comfort zone, so let's talk about the two that are slightly more outside of my comfort zone to dye. One of them is Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons. Now, I have called this Treasury of Dragons for short. I mean, it's not that much shorter, but I just called it Treasury. I'm calling it Treasury of Dragons anyway. And unsurprisingly, this book introduces loads of other different types of dragons to the world of D&D. Now, the Monster Manual has the basics, but the Treasury of Dragons adds a bit more depth to them, explains them a bit more, and also adds a few other dragons into the mix. It's an absolutely beautiful book cover. I love the colour of it. I just think it's absolutely stunning, with a big old red dragon on it, in a dusk. I think the sun is setting. It could be rising, but there's a couple of dragons and they seem to be fighting on it. And anyway, I very much tried to lean into the peach elements of it. It's not a colour I tend to go for. I don't tend to do light pinks and peaches all that much. So on Sparkle Sock, this is what it looks like. Do, 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 do. There's a bit of yellow in there and here, and then there's fun little speckles. And then a bit of pink and a bit of peach. You might be able to see it a bit better on merino sock. But I absolutely adore this colourway and think it's going to be a very nice jumper for someone. Look at it on fluff. Look at it on fluff. I may have gone a bit over the top with the speckles on fluff, but I don't care. I think it looks fabulous. And yeah, it's very much rhubarb and custard vibes. You can see the yellow a bit more on this one. And this one is a bit more springy than the other colourways that I have shown you. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm very, very happy with how it came out. It was a colourway that I was really nervous to dye up, so I put it off until quite late into me dyeing them. I dyed up this one first, and then I did this one, then this one, and then I was like, cool, those are all my comfortable colourways. Let's get a bit more uncomfortable with the peach. And then we are ending the collection with the Player's Handbook, which is so far outside of my comfort zone of dyeing because it's yellows and oranges, and that is not what I dye that often, but I love how it came out, so I consider it an absolute win. So on the front of the Player's Handbook there is a giant of some form and someone fighting the giant. So in the Player's Handbook is the book that the players generally have, or you have a couple of them dotted throughout all of the players. It is what you use for your character creation. It has all of the races in it, all of the classes in it. It has how to work out your hit points. It has what armor you can have, what weapon you can have, what spells. It's got all of the spells in it. It's got all of the feats in it, which are the different things you can pick up as you level up. And yeah, it's very useful. That and the DM's Guide are two heavily used books that we have. I put loads of sticky tabs in the Player's Handbook. I did it while we were living in Germany, and then it's still there now, all those many years on, and yeah, it gets heavy use. So I wanted to do a good mixture of yellows and oranges in this colourway. I didn't want any in particular to stand out, and I think, not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. I think I've nailed it. As I said, I have only twisted up one of these because I'm pretty sure I've lost the game of Cold or Damp, and they're all draped around the office space. So without further ado, this is the Player's Handbook on Merino Sock. So you can see the fun little speckles just here. We've got a bit of, you know, like a terracotta-y orange colour just here, a bit of brighter orange up here, and then the yellow as well. And I love how this turned out. Yellow and oranges are not colourways that I tend to go for. They're not the colourways I tend to dye, but I really love how this one came out, and I'm really proud of it, which sounds a little bit toot, but sometimes you have to toot your own horn when you feel like you've done a good job, you know? But yes, this is the Player's Handbook, and it is the final yarn in the DM's Library collection. So that is all of the yarn that I will be bringing to the DM's Library collection. I hope that you like it. If you would like to grab a skein of it yourself, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. One, I'll be bringing a limited amount to East Anglia Yarn Festival with me on the 18th and 19th of March. This is going to be a pre-order collection. I did one of these in January last year and I haven't done one since. So yes, this is a pre-order. It is available on all of the bases that I listed at the beginning. If there's something in particular that you would want to see it dyed up on, please drop me a message and I can see if it's a base that I can get, that my suppliers have. And yes, so the pre-order is going live on the 18th of February. That is Saturday next week, and it will be going live at 10 AM GMT. That is UK time. If you're a member of the Biscuit Brew crew and are subscribed to me on Patreon, then you will have access 24 hours before. So it will go live for you on the 17th at 10 AM GMT, and then I'll take it off at 9 AM because then I need to set up the website and have it all ready to go, so it all goes live at 10 AM. Does that make sense? So you'll have access from 10 AM the day before until 9 AM on the day of, and you'll also get your 10% discount code. It should also work for this as well, so that is very exciting. However, yes, so 10 AM on Saturday the 18th of February. Now, I wanted this to be quite a quick turnaround, but I also wanted this collection to go live at the beginning of this month, and that didn't happen because pipe issues, but it is going to be going live on the 18th, and then I've got East Anglia Yarn Show on the 18th of March. Now, if you want to place a pre-order and you want to collect it, please send me an email. Do not write it in a note in the order. Please send me an email, otherwise I will miss it. I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't see notes in emails until I'm packaging them. I do try to check them, but sometimes they get missed. So if you do want to collect it from East Anglia Yarn Festival, if you're coming, wonderful stuff. Please drop me an email explaining that and I will dye that up and get that ready for you to collect. If you are not going there and you don't want to collect it from there, then I will be having an 8 to 10 week turnaround, which sounds like a really long time, I understand, but I would rather promise a longer period of time and post it off sooner to you than to tell you a shorter period of time and then have to extend it later. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because yeah, I'll be going gusto on prepping for East Anglia Yarn Festival, so yes. I do ship internationally. If you have an address, I can ship it to you, and I am so excited to share these with you. I originally wanted to have a much bigger collection, but you know what? Sometimes these things don't work out. So a nice 5 is a nice amount. I personally think. So let me know if you like it. If you don't like it, you can also let me know, because I mean the engagement helps. I will probably take it personally because I don't deal well with criticism, but hey, the more criticism I hear, maybe the better I deal with it. Who knows? Let me know if you're planning on getting anything, and let me know what you are wanting or what you would make with it, because that would be great if that is something you want. Like, I really want to make something with this. The boucle Astral Menagerie. That is, I want to knit something with it. I think it would be great, but I just need to decide what it's going to be. So yes, I am so excited to bring these to you, and I hope that you are excited as well. It's been a really long time coming. I've been planning this since mid-December. The plan was to dye these up originally through Vlogmas and then launch them in January, but frozen pipes, so I couldn't. Very annoying. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's a whole separate issue. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, it would be lovely if you were to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe if you want to. If you want to become part of the Biscuit Brew crew and subscribe on Patreon, link is in the description box below. You get an extra video a week, as well as other fun perks. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Please check the description box below for any information that I think you might need. And yeah, share this video with anyone that you think would be interested in the new yarn collection if they're a D&D fan. No pressure, but it would be very helpful if you did want to do that. Anyway, I'm going to go because I am talking way too much. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to finally share this with you, and yeah, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.